Surprise, motherfucker.
In honor of the new Spider-Verse coming up, I decided it would be cool to go back and take a look at some of the inspiration of the whole Spider-Verse craze. Today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, the animated series, and the Spider-Wars, and also the fantastic video game Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Starting off with Spider-Man, the animated series. This show very influential in terms of Spider-Man content. The likes of things such as the Venom symbiote corrupting Peter. That started here. Also, the mentor-mentee relationship between Ock and Peter also started here. But for the reason why we're all here in the first place, this was truly the first radical crossover between Spider-Man of different dimensions. Sure, we've had Spider-Man team up with lookalikes, copycats, clones in the past, but this is the first time Spider-Man really got extra-dimensional. You see, after the events of this world's Secret Wars, where Spider-Man was tasked to fight against the evil forces of the Red Skull by teaming up with a legion of superheroes, haha, TC reference, Spider-Man had to lead a team of heroes consisting of Black Cat, Storm, Iron Man, and Captain America, just to name a few, although Captain America did steal his thunder. It was after proving himself worthy that Madam Web and Beyonder decided it was appropriate for him to lead another kind of team, a team consisting of Spider-Men. The Beyonder places Peter Parker in a world where Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin have teamed up under the authority of this world's Spider-Carnage. That's right. Spider-Man is the villain, this time corrupted by Carnage symbiote. It takes the combined forces of an armored Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider-Man, and a Spider-Man that doesn't have any powers. Also, we've got four-armed Spider-Man and a Spider-Man with Doc Ock arms to team up with our classic OG Spider-Man to fight the evil forces of Spider-Carnage. Does it work out? They all butt heads. You see, Spider Armor Spider-Man is a douchebag. He has all the power, but a lot less responsibility. Also, in this dimension, he's married to Gwen Stacy. That's right, we finally get to see Gwen Stacy in the flesh. And was it worth it? Not really, because they gave all the attributes of Gwen Stacy to Mary Jane and Black Cat, so it was kind of redundant to actually see her, especially considering how it really does look like Gwen Stacy.
It's lonely at the top. The lizard! He always has a tale to tell.
We have Scarlet Spider-Man. As an homage to the original Clone Saga, this world's Spider-Man is a clone after Miles Warren did the whole Hydro Man, Mary Jane fiasco, and he doesn't know whether or not he's the original, so now he has to deal with that existential crisis. And it's always neat to see Ben Reilly, although personally I would like to see King, just because King's a little weirdo, a little freak. Emo Spider-Man, but not emo in the same way. He's more like, I'll bash your skull in because I'm the Jason Todd of the group. We always need a black sheep. But all these Spider-Men eventually butt heads until they finally decide to give our Peter Parker the reins. And how did they defeat Spider-Carnage? Well, it wasn't through brute force, but it was actually with an Uno reverse card where they decided to bring Uncle Ben into the fold. And Uncle Ben gives him a wise talking lesson and decides to beat the brakes off of him emotionally. And yeah, it's a very emotional scene where we get to see Spider-Carnage just break down and realize the gravity of his actions. Because at the end of the day, that's who Spider-Man is. He isn't this edgy, powerful, super dope superhero. He's more of a salt of the earth kind of guy. And at the end of the days, if it's between trading blows or talk no jutsu, Spider-Man is the original talk no jutsu guy.
I am Spider-Man.
Next, we have Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. And this one, not gonna lie, it's a biggie for me. Written and created by the man who would eventually give us Spider-Verse itself, Dan Slott. We have the likes of 4 generations of Spider-Man, all playing various roles.
I am Agility.
We have Neil Patrick Harris playing the Amazing Spider-Man, reprising his role from the MTV Spider-Man. Oh, I thought was pretty good, even though that show is slightly based off of the Sam Raimi films. I thought he did a better job here. He plays the amazing Spider-Man, whose power or skill set is more focused on agility, and he's technically the main character.
I am speed.
Then you have Dan Gilzer, aka G1 Bumblebee, reprising his role from Spider-Man and some amazing friends. He plays Miguel O'Hara, and it's kind of jarring hearing that voice out of Miguel O'Hara, even though he's supposed to be more of the snarky one. That role kind of gets replaced by the next person we're going to talk about, so it's very weird hearing happy-go-lucky Spider-Man being Spider-Man 2099, and his power is speed.
I am stealth.
Then we have Christopher Daniel Barnes, ironically, the guy who played Spider-Man in the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s that we just talked about. He's playing Spider-Man Noir, and his main power focus is stealth. He's the edgy one of the group. And granted, if my uncle got eaten by a vulture, I'd probably be very, very edgy too. Fun fact, he would go on to later play Miguel O'Hara in a more appropriate sounding voice and personality in the sequel, or what I believe the spiritual successor and or sequel, Spider-Man Edge of Time.
I am power.
And then finally, we have my boy, and the guy you may or may not have been used to growing up if you watch shows like Spectacular Spider-Man, Josh Keaton. Josh Keaton plays the ultimate version of Spider-Man, so he's the youngest and more green of the group. He's currently possessed by the Venom symbiote. His special power set is power, because, Venom. And Josh Keaton also goes on to play the Amazing Spider-Man in Spider-Man Edge of Time with Christopher Daniel Barnes as 2099. The basic premise of the game boils down to Mysterio stealing a MacGuffin that forces time and space to come apart, and Madam Web picking these four Spider-Man to team up through dimensions and find different pieces of the shattered MacGuffin to bring it all together and save the day. The story isn't really the most important part of it. It's just the experience of having four different generational Spider-Man come together and just be there. It was the No Way Home before No Way Home for animated Spider-Man, that is. And it was just a hoot and a holler. And if you wanted more of a story, you would go play its spiritual successor, Spider-Man Edge of Time, where they have to deal with the likes of Alchemax and all the villains that affect both Miguel and Peter's time. Honestly, if you can get a copy of these games or go on Disney Plus and rewatch the storyline, I would highly recommend it. These are really good, especially gearing up for the new Spider-Man movie. If you agree or disagree with anything I said, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section and let me know how you feel about this episode and or game. And if you have any fond memories or if you just hated it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know the next time we upload. And thanks for watching.
Realize that the show